Good morning, you guys. I'm gonna wait and let you guys start coming in. It's not gonna be a real long live because I gotta get out today. We'll do it app. Look, my phone going off already. I got a lot to do today. Let's see, I see 4 people. I'm gonna wait and start allowing other people. Hey, Gristle Hardaway, to start getting the notifications. Hey, Fox. Hey, little Miss Muffin. It is so cold. I promise you, I be so unmotivated when it's cold. But guess what? I've been getting a lot done because normally in the wintertime, I hibernate. I don't like to. Good morning, Adriana. Let's see, I got a cousin name. Is it Adriana? Adriana. I think I got a cousin named Adriana. I have a cousin named Adriana because our dad's name is Adrian. Miss Rita, so witty, little Miss Muffin. Cold front coming to Dallas on Christmas. Ooh, I know that's not normal because Dallas is normally really hot, right? I don't like it when it's cold. Like normally when it's cold, I like to hibernate. I like to hibernate in the wintertime. I don't like to work or nothing, but I've been working. Um, I'm thinking about moving into a new office. I actually want to. I actually think I am. The only reason why it's hard for me to leave my office is because it's so many memories in that office. My dad and I started out in that office, but I think the way that it's big, but the way that it's set up, I got some other things, other services that I've added, and so the other office has an area for my studio, an area for some other stuff that I'm like other areas. It has everything that I need. It has a restroom in there, and the guy just kind of gave me a deal I can't resist. So, oh, it snow. I didn't know it snows in Dallas. I didn't know that. Um, hmm. Kenny, Clarinetta. I'm just giving more people the opportunity. Hey, Kimberly, to start coming on. Like I said, in the wintertime, I don't be wanting to do anything. But I get all happy and stuff around the spring. And even in the summertime, I love the summer because I love the heat. Even when it's real hot, I prefer the summer than the winter. But spring is my favorite season. Get off of me, please. Thank you. Yes, and yes to the thumbnail. I know, right? Hey, holiday tracks. We'll get started in just like one more minute. I be wanting to give more people the opportunity to get the notifications because for some reason a lot of people have not been getting the notifications. Yep, a lot of people haven't been getting the notifications. Mm-mm-mm. And they're still not getting the notifications. And I know they're not sending them out like they should, because I put the notifications on for me to be notified when I come on. It has not notified me either. But anyways, we're gonna get started anyways, right? Okay. I wanted to talk about the National Guard must come into Memphis. And there was a little typo, so it might say is must come into Memphis. I tried to change it. Um and I don't think it wouldn't allow me to change, so a couple of the places that I'm streaming from. But the National Guard must come into Memphis. Um hey Cypress, hey Daniel. Hey, McName Ace. I've been looking at like the news, and it is absolutely just depressing. Even though I haven't been able to be on here a whole lot because I've been working quite a bit. I've been doing some really good things. Even though I hate the cold, God is being good to me. And so I've been kind of trying to upload and get on when I can, because I got to get out as soon as I get off of here. But I've been looking at the news, and it's alarming because I've been out in the streets every single day, right? Even if I have to be out there just for a few hours, I've been out there. And I think it's a shame what is going on. And I was talking to one of my friends last night, who is over the East Precinct. One of the East Precincts is several. And I was telling him, I said, I think for a long time, I knew it had been building up for some of these little young thugs to try and start shooting at the police, right? And I think, with us, I always say this because I know everybody is not a fan of the police or whatever, for whatever reasons. And what I try to tell people all the time, like, every police officer is not the same. Like, the police officers are hired to do a job. They don't make the laws. Okay. If you don't like the laws, you need to look at your lawmakers. Police officers are hired to enforce the laws. And I say all the time, like, we can't have a double mind, right? We can't say that we want for crime to get better, but as soon as the police officers arrest Lil Junebug, or they have to go ahead and pop Lil Junebug, because police officers are trained. I know because I went through the academy. Okay. And the police officers are trained to, if you have to draw your weapon, you draw your weapon to, if you fire that weapon, you have to, it's front and center mass, right? That's in the heart. Okay, you're there. They have to take down the threat. You don't draw your weapon unless there is a threat, or fire your weapon. And so people have issues. They say they want a better society, better neighborhoods and things of that nature. But we kind of talk out of the side of our necks, right? And so people say all the time, but you always getting on us. Well, a lot of these kids are coming out of, and these are children, 15, 16 years old. A lot of them are coming out of households. Police officers, I wouldn't even want for a police officer to have more control of my teenager, not even my adult children, because I have young adults in their early 20s. I wouldn't want for a police officer to have more control over a child that I carried for 9 months and gave birth to. Okay. But it's unfortunate, people want police officers to clean up the streets, but they want to protest when it's Junebug that's going to jail. Junebug come out of your house. Junebug been cutting up, and you know how Junebug is when he leave home. But I can't understand how people, as I always say, they get mad at the police when they say, well, we got a curfew. Okay, there's a curfew. Well, my 14-year-old son ain't in the house. The police officers ain't doing their job. I think that's an oxymoron. And I really think that that's a character flaw to even hear people say that. That is outsourcing the blame when nobody is supposed to, especially a minor child, is supposed to have more control over your children than the mama and the daddy. Okay. And I know that there are a lot of single parent homes. Okay. And so that's when I have to say to the fathers, regardless to what is going on with you and the baby's mama, you have a obligation, whether you like the baby mama, whether you wanted that child or not. You took your wing out, okay, and put it in her pee-pee, okay? So you have an obligation, whether you want that child or not. That is your seed. You have an obligation, okay, to take care of your children and try and guide your sons. I can't understand these people anyways, because there used to be a time, regardless to whether the man cared about the woman or not, if he created a child with that woman, automatically human nature is to, that's my child. I love my child. But now that people are so disconnected, if men are having children with women that they don't like, they'll say, well, I ain't got no connection with that child. I told her I didn't want that child. And people don't correct them on it. Because there was a time where most men would say, dog, you wrong. That's still your child. What you mean you ain't got no connection with your child? That's your seed, nigga. That's yours, right? That's your child, right? But that is what is going on, right? And so when people started talking about the National Guard coming into Memphis, because I was looking at something, and the National Guard, I forgot, the National Guard had to be brought into Memphis 3 years ago. I was just looking at that. The National Guard had to be brought into Memphis 3 years ago. But what they did was they actually started bringing in they brought the National Guard in. They didn't stay long, because they brought in the National Guard before the crime got real out of control. When it started to rise up, right? When it started to get out of control, they nipped it in the bud, right? But now it is completely out of control. And so you start hearing people say, you start hearing some of these dudes say, you already know that they just don't know any better. Oh, well, we got weapons too, because so if the National Guard come in, we're going to shoot at them tanks. You're going to shoot at a tank that is bulletproof, okay? And that's you're gonna have a bad day if you do that anyways. A lot of them can't even afford weapons. That's the reason why, or bullets. That's why they break into the gun store, and they feel like that they can overpower the government, right? That has unlimited everything, and let alone shooting at a tank, right? And so I think that's the problem. Like, well, a lot of people, when you say, well, they don't need the National Guard to come in because we know that they out there raping and killing everybody. But, when they going to try to do that, they're going to try to shoot at the National Guard and they're going to kill them. So we don't want them to kill them, but they out there killing everybody, right? So I think that's one of the reasons. And people may not agree with me totally, and that's fine. We all, we're all adults. I think that's one of the reasons why people don't take the Black community seriously, right? Because we'll say that, we want to get together and we want to help, we want this, we want that. But then when something goes on, we're out there protesting, talk about, Junebug, yeah, he went and killed that whole family. But if a white man just had did it, the white man just wouldn't have got as much time as Junebug. Nobody takes us seriously when we do crazy stuff like that. So what we need to do is collectively come together, right, and sit down and come up with a plan to make sure that everybody is punished equally all the way across the board. I ain't rallying for Junebug to get out after he done went up into a house and raped and killed everybody. Okay, that is one of the reasons why people don't take our community seriously. Like when they was gunning down these African-American boys, I said, y'all, the issue is other communities see us gunning down each other. So if they see us gunning down each other, they already know there's no unity in our community. They already know that we don't care about each other. So they feel that they can do it. We, the first thing you hear other communities say, well, yeah, it's wrong, but hell, why aren't the Blacks, why aren't the African Americans getting together protesting that they're killing each other more than any white person ever could? And it's the truth. So, like I said, it has to be I always say there has to be a renewal of the mind in our community. See, we don't want to talk about this like that. We always want somebody to that look. We all get together, and we always want to want to pacify. Yeah, they did us wrong, and they didn't have to juju bug like this. We don't want to accept responsibility for what goes on in our community. We shouldn't have to outsource everything, you guys. A lot of this stuff we're supposed to try and mend in our very own community first. Instead, we're always looking for somebody on the outside. What they gonna do about all this in our community? What they gonna do to help us? Where these savages coming up out of your house? The first thing you could do is be more proactive in trying to. And I'm not saying that everybody that's got kids that are bad is not good parents, because I know a lot of parents do the very best they can, and their kids are just bad, right? But the first thing that we could do is work together to try and mend broken fences in our very own community. And it's not being jacked up. It's not being jacked up. It is making sure that there are repercussions instead of trying to give everybody a lollipop and putting a breast in their mouth. Okay, breastfeeding them. Breastfeeding a grown woman or a grown man. No, there's gonna be some repercussions when you violate. And I think that's the reason why a lot of this stuff is going on in our communities. Because why it's got to be repercussions? People are just so used to just doing things and then just sliding by. At this point, a lot of folks don't even feel like they're supposed to be in the repercussions, right? So that's why I say, a lot of the men try to say, well, you hard on the men. Of course I'm hard on the men. You know why I'm hard on men? Because I was raised up around a bunch of soldiers, and I understand that the men are supposed to be the leaders. Okay, so that's the reason why I shoot men off when they say, well, these black women is acting like they strong. Black women is. That's because we've been put in a position where we have to be strong, because a lot of the men are not taking their places, and 2 and 3 men on their throne can't do it all. All these men have to come together collectively and put themselves. A lot of them gonna have to go ahead detox. See, folks don't want. Why you say that, motherfucker? You a crackhead. You gonna have to detox. Okay. See, people don't want to hear that. Why you call me a crackhead, motherfucker? You smoking crack. You're gonna have to detox before you can lead. The men are supposed to be leading. Okay. They're supposed to be leading the women and the children. And until that is happening, everything is going to be in disarray in the black community, because the men are the leaders and they ain't even teaching their sons that. So yes, I put a lot on their back because that's what's supposed to be happening. Well, you just ain't submissive enough. Somebody got to tell you. How you going to lead and you geeked up all the time? You can't lead. If you geeked up, you can't hear from God. Okay, you're gonna have to go ahead and detox. As CEO Jizzle said, crack is a old people's drugs. It's old. It's time to let that crack and stuff go. Right? I think one of the issues with our community. I'm so sick of my dog. She want to play as soon as I get on here. One of the issues with our community, unfortunately, is that a lot of us have these codependent personalities, right? And we have to be very careful about when we start having these codependent personalities, right? A lot of women, we codependent on somebody telling us our hair look good, or they jealous of me because I had looked it good. You need to pat yourself on the back. They're codependent on somebody else's personality. People don't really even go to church oftentimes for the word of God. They're going because they be codependent on the pastor. They develop some kind of codependency on the pastor, which is not good because you're draining him. When people attach to you or try to attach themselves to you, oftentimes when they have that type of codependent personality, they will drain you. right? That's the reason why, I love people, but when they're too needy, because I deal with my own issues. Okay, I have to deal with my own. We all have to deal with our own stuff. But oftentimes, people in our community it's just too go dependent on something. What's going to be the next free thing? And you have to be very, very careful about when you deal with people, and you become codependent on people with these feel good speeches or words. Okay, when they have all these testimonies about how God brought them up from the dead and out the grave. I was on drugs, and you ain't learning nothing from it. You just want to feel good. You know what I mean? Everybody just want a temporary feel good, right? And so, and then when they get home, they back jacked up. They go back up under their bed, okay, and hide because they in a depression. But you got to be very careful about, and they ain't really getting no real help. That's what I'm saying. But you have to be careful about when you start depending on these people, these fast talkers, and these people that's got all these feel good speeches and stuff, honey, and all these testimonies, because they'll have that testimony today and they'll be and forgot about it tomorrow. Okay, so you have to be real careful about that, right? Running off of emotions. And I think what our community needs to do is I think our community is going to have to heal, because there's no doubt that there's a lot of emotional instability. And I'm not talking about jumping on no medicine, but if you need some, go ahead and get on it. Okay, because a lot of these folks stone crazy. If medicine gonna stop you from acting the damn fool, go ahead and get you a pill or two. Okay, but if you can heal another way and stop outsourcing everything. People outsourcing want to outsource their responsibilities. People are not staying married anymore because I'm talking about within our community, because they looking for a man. They putting all their responsibility on the man. He's supposed to make me happy. Don't make me start cussing. Okay, how you gonna put all that responsibility on your husband because you broken? You was broken before he met you. You just hid it good. So now it's his responsibility to make you happy every day. And now you're mad because he gone. You done drained the man to death. He almost lifeless. He trying to run for his life. He was supposed to make me happy. It's just too many broken people, y'all. And I think that's what's going on in our community. It's not somebody else's responsibility to make us happy. Now, every day you're supposed to already be whole, and I'll say make us whole, because I'm not gonna be in the house with nobody that makes me unhappy. I was talking to somebody last night about that, right? I'm just not gonna be in the house with a Debbie Downer, right? Because regardless of how I fuss, I'm a pretty happy person, right? But I think all this emotional instability in our community is kind of rubbing off on the kids. If you sit on the phone all day gossiping and lying and ain't got nothing going for yourself, your children are looking at that. And that's what women need to understand, that women are the models of their household. The man is the head and the women are the models, which means the women set the tone for everything. Okay, because most men, if they real men, all they want to do is come home to a peaceful home. They want to eat, and they want you to screw them every now and again. Those that can still get a nature, because a lot of them can't get no hearts up, okay, no more. And they just want some peace and to be treated nice. But if you tearing your household down, if you're a foolish woman and your kids looking at all of this stuff, okay, your children is looking at all of this stuff, don't you think you're going to be breeding and raising up a bunch of messy kids? Don't you think if you got a man in your household that you got different men in and out of your household, first of all, your girls are looking at you, they're going to think it's okay. Okay, they're going to think it's okay. That's the reason why a lot of these young men don't know how to be in relationships, right? Because they haven't had a father, an example of a father to show them how to be a man. All they've ever seen was their dads talking bad about their mamas and stuff, and that I can't understand. Like you got to be a sorry Negro, even if you having issues with your baby's mama or whatever, to sit up and be talking bad about your child's mother, who is the custodial parent that's feeding and taking care of that child, and that child is living with nigga, you got to be a pitiful man to sit up and talk about that child's mama in their face. And you have a lot of men to do that, don't have no regards about that child and the emotions and how that child feel about their mama. Motherfucker, you couldn't do what that woman doing in her household if you just picking your child up every now and again and taking them for a damn Nike shoe. Okay? But you have the nerve to put this distorted type of thinking, because their brains are still, you so immature. Their brains are still developing, to put that type of dysfunction into the atmosphere. And believe it or not, it causes, especially some of the boys, okay, to feel like as they start looking at their mother and they start smelling themselves, they'll start trying to exert that type of energy towards their mother. I said all that to say this, y'all, our community needs some healing. And a lot of what's going on, I understand. I'm not stupid. I know my history. I love reading about my history. I eat, sleep, and breathe just reading and looking at historical movies and anything that happened in the 60s and 70s. I love looking at the documentaries. I'm just I can be somewhat of an eccentric, I guess, weirdo, okay? Because I love to look at that. And what I understand is that a lot of stuff that has happened in our community, I'm not a fool, it was engineered. That's the reason why crack was brought in the 80s, you know, to tear up the black families. But you know, I think I love looking at Watts stacks, right? If y'all can go look at that documentary, okay, if y'all ain't already seen it, like, it's just something about seeing them in 1973, all of those black people out there, seeing them together. It wasn't no fighting. They was in Watts. They had all those black performers, and black people seem to have been proud to be black, right? They had their afros and stuff like that. And what I noticed is even those that came out of the projects, their dialect and their dictation was completely different. Okay, even if they came out of the projects, they pronounced their words correctly. So then in the early 90s, late 80s, they started talking about ebonics. I understand a job has been done on us, but we ain't got to accept it. That's the reason why I say it's going to have to start inward and then go outward, right? So now, you know, you see, you know, all of this music and stuff is put into the atmosphere. We don't hear people like talking about you know, loving each other and stuff no more. We don't. And it's not going to get any better until we change our mindset. And you know, getting back to what I was talking about in Memphis, like, I was looking at the news and it is extremely depressing, y'all. I was looking at where a 1-year-old child, okay, where a 1-year-old child was taken out. Oh, that hurt me so bad. The 1-year-old was an absolutely beautiful child, just absolutely beautiful. And I guess my issue is, you know, a lot of these, I don't know if it was gang related or what. I just know when I saw it, it hurt me so bad. I couldn't even listen to everything. I don't even think they know what happened. You know, whoever they was popping it probably knows what happened. But now you got a 1-year-old baby, that's gone, right? I think that's a cowardice thing. You got people they're such cowards now. If you got an issue with somebody, you don't go to their family's houses where you know what children and older people and stuff could be and pop up the house. That's how you know they're a coward. Most real gangsters and hitters, they lay on that person. If they don't see him, I'ma see him. That's all right. I'ma see him. That's what, believe it or not, that's what they taught us when I was in the academy. Oh, don't worry about it. You don't chase them. You gonna, if you can't catch them, don't worry about it. You gonna see them again. You just lay on them, right? You just lay on them and wait on them to mess up. And that's what real so-called gangsters do. They don't go and do something where they know that children and older people and women, right, can be hurt. So these cowards go and pop up a house They popping into a house. They know it's women and kids and old people in there, but they scared to lay on the person that they really want to get. So then, yeah, I'm a gangster because I went and killed a 1-year-old. And what's so sad is you ain't got the real OGs taking care of that. You ain't got the real OGs handling that. Motherfucker, what you say? You killed a 1-year-old and then that person goes missing, right? And I'm not, promoting violence or anything like that. I'm just telling you, when in the era that I grew up in, I grew up around real men, okay, real dudes, okay? They just didn't tolerate stuff like that. And they definitely was not going to listen to you brag about killing a 1-year-old. Okay? So that's why I said, is rap destroying the Black community? Because with there being no guidance, okay, with there being no guidance in the households, right? You got women, you got mama all on social media and stuff. She twerking with her daughters. When you see them on there, they just twerking. Okay, what mama at? Girl, that's mama next to her. You got to be kidding me, girl. That's mama next to her. Okay. Daughter 15-year-old, the daughter 15, mama 20. I promise to God I ain't lying. That's what's going on now. Okay. But with there being no guidance. Okay. So now you got rap. They listening to the rap. And they feel like whatever these rappers put into the atmosphere is law. Okay. Whatever these rappers put into the atmosphere is law. They think it's cool. And that's the reason why I say, of course, these rappers have a responsibility when they sit their mother sucking asses up there and say, I ain't got no responsibility. Bitch, they putting money in your pocket. What you talking about? We making y'all rich. You have a responsibility to the people that help to make you rich. What you mean? You got people like Cardi B that say, I would never let my children listen to my music, but you put that type of stuff into the atmosphere, and it's mostly destroying the Black community because it is a lot of the Black children that don't have any adults guiding them, right? Even with I put Young Dolph and FBG Duck and King Von and all of them up there. What's the other guy named Young Thug? I think I put Moneybag Yo and I put Gotti up there because I always, people go, well, why are you always putting Young Dolph and Yo Gotti and Moneybag Yo and all of them, like a lot of the Memphis rappers up there? I do it for a reason, okay? I do it because Moneybag Yo, Yo Gotti, Young Dolph. What happened to Young Dolph? What happened to all of these little dudes, especially around the Memphis area? It affects the Memphians directly, right? I was listening to Young Dolph one time say that a lot of these artists have a responsibility. And hey, I have not listened to all of Young Dolph's music, but quite a bit of the music that I've heard Young Dolph rap about, he always rapped more so about getting money. He always rapped more so about getting money. I never heard a song where Young Dolph was just putting demonic stuff into the atmosphere, right? And so that's the reason why I say, even when Young Dolph was killed, I think a lot of people can't get past it, because when Young Dolph was killed, we started seeing a lot of young dudes, to include a lot of these rappers that we put on and helped to make rich, using, it wasn't enough for them to kill him. They started using their platforms to put a lot of demonic stuff out into the atmosphere. Okay. They started trolling him. They started doing videos all down at the grave. They used their platforms with millions of followers to troll a famous rapper. Okay. And they put all of that stuff out, that demonic energy out into the atmosphere, making these young dudes who are already misguided feel like, this is what you do. You take somebody out and then you jump on your social medias and you troll and and make fun of it and hurt their families even more. Because at that point, young Dolph had ascended to another dimension. Okay. So what they did was his children and stuff was left behind. His kids ain't never did nothing to them Negroes. So when they started doing all of that, the only thing they was doing was hurting his kids, right? Hurting his family, because they wanted his kids to know, we killed your daddy. What had his kids ever done to them? Okay. That's the reason why I always say, God says, when I get them back for what they did, you're going to see me get them back. That's the word right there. And it proves to be true. Everybody ain't been God yet, but it's in the making. Okay. Because you got to reap what you sow. You're going to pay for what you do. But it's rap destroying the Black community. It seems like it to me. And people are going to continuously put that demonic stuff out, you guys, into the atmosphere as long as they're making money behind it. Everybody is so reckless now. I think it's a darn shame when you start seeing people in their 30s and 40s and 50s being so reckless, right? You know, when they're in their early 20s and stuff, you might want to, even though they know better, you might want to try to help them a little bit. But when you're in your 30s and 40s and 50s, you use an old fool, okay? And you know better, especially when you got bigger kids that's 10, 11, and 12 years old. You know damn well you know better. You just want to be a fool. And so it's going to continuously happen until we start pulling our resources back, okay? I can remember, I always tell this story right here because I've always remembered it. It must have been about 2005 when I was working downtown doing traffic, okay? And there was a game. That's when the University of Memphis, it might have been the University of Memphis or the Grizzlies or something like that, was still having their games at the Pyramid, and it would always be real congested, and we would always have to direct traffic. We would always have to man the stoplights. They would make us stand there and change the lights. They wouldn't let it change by itself. We would have to control it. And so I can remember that traffic was real congested, and there was this guy trying to get over the Arkansas Bridge, because you know you go to West Memphis, Arkansas from downtown, and he was waiting to turn left so he can get on the bridge, and he let his window down, was talking to me, and he had a little hat on his head, so I knew he had to have been of another religion. So I asked him, and he was like, you know, I live in Missouri. He didn't say St. Louis, he said some part of Missouri, and he was trying to get home. And so he was really nice. You know, he had his window down. He was talking to a white guy. And we just had a full out conversation because we was letting all traffic go east, right? And so he was waiting to turn left. And so we got to talking, and I'll never forget that man said when I started asking him about his religion, about the Jewish religion, because I've always been interested in knowing about other people's religion. And we just had an all-out conversation. I'll never forget that man said, no, you know what? In our community, we don't argue and go back and forth or anything like that. If we have an issue with something, I'll never forget, he took his hand and said, we just pull our resources back. We just pull our resources back. That's how we fight. That's the only way things are going to get better. That's the only way people, especially when they are led by greed, that's the only way they're going to understand you, is if we start pulling our resources back. You ain't got to pay to download their music. You don't have to pay to go to that concert, especially with what happened to Young Dolph and what was done, okay? And I'm not just talking about Young Dolph's, the FBG Ducks, all of them. The way that was done, and if you find out that some CEO, some label head, some label is behind it, we're supposed to be pulling our resources back, saying, no, we're not going to make you rich for you to destroy the Black community. We're not going to do that. We're going to pull our resources back, y'all. That's the only way that they're going to understand, right? That's the only way that people are going to hear us and understand us, is if we start pulling our resources back. The Jews do it each and every day. Puffy is a prime example, okay? They pulling their resources back, and they get ready to send his ass back to the damn projects, Okay, so if he wasn't feeling guilty about what he had done for the last 30 years, they pulling them resources back. I bet you he is. And here's the thing, they ain't doing nothing to him because of what he did to the black folks. They rewarded him for destroying his own community. They gave him a nigger call when he started deciding he gonna start doing what he did to the black folks. He put his foot over the line to start doing it to probably one of them. No, nigga, we got to give him that nigga call and spank him. We give him the power to destroy his own community. Okay? Now we got to give him that nigga call. No, you don't ever think you're gonna do what we gave you the power to do to your folks, to our folks. That's only for the Negroes. You still a nigga. And so now we get ready to send your ass back to the projects. And so that's the reason why I say there has to be a renewal of the mind in our community, y'all. It ain't gonna get no better until we change our mindset. I say that all the time. Okay, so you hear a lot of black people, even a lot of black people. Well, you know, we don't need the National Guard in Memphis. Memphis is worse, as bad as it could ever get. Anytime you speeding down the highway or down a street and you decide you want to play cowboys, you want to do what you see in the movies, you want to do what you see in the damn videos, rappers videos, you put your damn neck out the car and I'm getting ready to shoot at the police with the gun, turn out to the damn side. That's the reason why they get their heads knocked off. You don't shoot no damn gun like that. Okay? The gun, they arm and wrist twisted. Pow, pow, pow. Yeah, I shot at that bitch ass nigga. But see, the police, had the authority at that point to pop them and run their asses up in a tree. The whole car. And see, that's the reason why I say people don't take our community seriously, because the first thing they would have said is just like they hit a human being. They was going so fast. Y'all, they hit a person and killed a pedestrian. But people are always wanting to outsource the blame and not put responsibility and make sure that there are repercussions for the people that are doing wrong in our community. Well, you know, if the police had not been chasing them, they weren't supposed to chase them anyway. They should have let little Rufus make it. Little Rufus shot at the police, going so fast, swerving and acting the damn fool. They hit a pedestrian and killed the pedestrian. They was going so fast. Can you imagine that, going 100 miles an hour and hit a human body? And they want to put the blame on the police because, you know, they should have that little Rufus alone. Okay? So that's why I say, y'all, it ain't gonna get no better until we do better. It's gonna have to start in our community, and it's gonna have to start with you see, he didn't have to make bum his tea. That's it. Who is that? Who y'all talking about? Didn't have to make bond. Okay, but it's sad, you guys. It's really sad, and I the National Guard must come in. Okay. And if they that concerned about little Rufus and little Junebug, the police, the National Guard, doing what is necessary, then they're gonna start speaking up, and they ain't gonna have to speak up, okay? Because the first time one of them meth heads or want somebody get on that fentanyl, but see, I'm gonna tell y'all something. That fentanyl and that meth ain't got these folks acting no fool. Okay, it don't. That fentanyl and that meth don't have them acting no fool. And I'm gonna tell you why I know that. It just gives them the courage to do the evil things that they already wanted to do, right? Because Lil Rufus them be out geeked up and geeking all night long. Okay, man, we need some money. We ain't got no money. We ain't even got 25 cents. You supposed to be a gangster, but you ain't even got 25 cents in your pocket. We got to go rob somebody. Okay, so who you gonna go rob? Hey, and I'm not saying do this, but the Iranians stay open 24 hours. Their gas stations be open. Their stores, them little mom and pop stores that those Iranians got. that they bought, they be open 24 hours. No, man. Now he done just came brought his ass out the meth lab, and they geeked up on all types of fentanyl and meth and crack and all mixed together in their system. But they already know we ain't gonna go mess with them Iranians, because they already know that Iranians consider it a privilege to die. Okay? They consider it a privilege to die. No, man, we can't go in because you know the Iranians gonna take their damn machete out and chop our neck off. Nigga, I thought you was geeked up. So then they go to Miss Betty's house. Miss Betty, 80 years old, they break up into that lady house and beat her and rape her and rob her. Don't tell me it ain't happening, because there was a case about last year where a bunch of gang members broke up into a 90-year-old woman house in Memphis and raped her and robbed her and beat her. Don't tell me it ain't happening. They skipped over all the Iranian stores where all the money is plentiful. And I ain't saying go do that to the Iranians. What I'm saying is these niggas ain't as geeked up as we think. You know, them grugs. That's the first thing folks say. Folks say, them grugs with a G. Them grugs got them acting like that. That motherfucker skipped over 15 Iranian stores where they was open and booming. Now, we can't mess with the Iranian. He gonna chop my neck off. Because they know when they walk up in there, them Iranians going to say, no, nigga. They going to call him a nigga. We all going to die. And I'm getting ready to get my 7 virgins. Okay? We all going to die. They'll take that missile out and blow up the whole damn stove. So they want to violate, but they don't want to die. They don't feel like it's supposed to be no repercussions. So they ain't that crazy. They ain't that geeked up. Okay? It's got to be some repercussions. Folks gonna have to stop upholding y'all what's wrong. Okay. And the reason why these people are upholding all of this stuff that's wrong is because a lot of these mamas and daddies benefiting. Okay. You been knowing your son was burglarizing your neighborhood. Hell, everybody in the neighborhood know Junebug is the one that's burglarizing the neighborhood. Your neighbor knew that he was burglarizing the neighborhood when he broke into her house and stole her new clothes, and his damn mama put the clothes on. She walked out. You see what Junebug bought me? You think that lady don't know her damn clothes? She know Junebug broke up into her house, was broke up into yesterday. And here, mama, here goes some clothes. You don't question him. You know he ain't got no damn job. Where you think Junebug got all these new clothes from? He got watches and gold rings and stuff. Here go a gold ring, mama. It's a woman's this ring. You ain't even questioning your son. You don't have nothing to say until somebody shoot him and blow his damn head off. Yeah, she just hating on me because I'm fresh. You know damn well Junebug broke up into your neighbor house and bought that and stole that outfit that you wearing, and you had the nerve to bring your simple ass out your house with the outfit on. Okay, that's the reason why I say it ain't gonna get no better until we change our mindset. Now everybody in the neighborhood know Junebug is the one that's burglarizing the house because his mama wearing all the neighbors' clothes and rings. She ain't got no issue with it. She know what that boy doing. But it's okay with her because she benefiting from it. And the same way with the daddies. You know he breaking up into these drug boys' houses and getting the drugs. You okay as long as you able to put some of that crack in your pipe. My son gave me this crack. My son be making sure I'm good. You okay with your son robbing them drug boys? You know they gonna get him. Okay, but then when they get him and do him in the worst way, they killed my boy. They were jealous of him. Okay, but a lot of these parents encourage this stuff, and y'all know I'm telling the truth. As long as they benefiting from it, they know their kids wrong. They know it. You can't tell me when they robbed that gun store and got all of them bullets, hell, they couldn't even afford to buy a real mask. Everybody in Memphis who knew him knew who it was. You can't tell me that their parents didn't see their kids on TV and know that they weren't their kids. Little Rufus brought me back a whole bunch of bullets. You ain't even got no gun to shoot the bullets with. Okay. But y'all, it's a shame. Thank you, Miss Marshall, for becoming a new member. But it's a shame, y'all. It's not gonna get no better until there's a different mindset within our community. And I said all that to say this: a lot of these kids are the way that they are because they ain't got no guidance, or they are being encouraged. It ain't no reason why no OG should be guiding your kids. But now I remember a time the OGs didn't walk a child off of the cliff. They didn't walk a child off of the cliff. They did not do that. That's the reason why I think it's a darn shame when I see some of these rappers, and that's the reason why I tries to make them shame, okay? And they need to be shamed, okay? Some of these rappers, I often talk about Straight Drop, and I talk about Straight Drop all the time because somebody was telling me that how straight, some stuff about Straight Drop. Okay, anyways, but I talk about him quite a bit because Straight Drop, I always say that's the young man that assassinated Young Dolph. For those of you all that don't know, Straight Drop is a nice looking young man. Okay, he could have been a better rapper, but he would have got better. He's bow leg. He could have been easily marketed to the young girls. They could have made him a Mal star or something. Right? You see a child that's already thrown off and he is a young adult. They could have easily tried to do something with him. But instead, I always use this, okay? Right. Straight Drop is a prime example of sent out by a bunch of old niggas. Okay? They could have easily tried to guide him in the right direction, but just like when I think about Straight Drop, I think about the story in the Bible where the devil tried to tempt Jesus, right? And he told Jesus when Jesus was fasting, okay? And the devil, he was fasting because he was trying to commune with God, right? And we all know that when we fast and turn away things from our flesh to commune with God, then God just opened up heaven and really started blessing us, right? And Jesus was trying to fast, and the devil kept trying to come to Jesus when he was on his way up in the mountains. And he said, I can turn water or something into bread. And Jesus told him, we shall not live by bread alone, okay, but by every word that proceeds out of the mouth of God, okay. And he kept trying to tempt Jesus. That's the reason why they call the devil the tempter, because he kept trying to tempt him. And there's a lot of people got that demonic spirit in them. They try to tempt you all the time. When people that are on drugs, you have the tempter that'll try to come around them because they will always want to see them in a bad way and tempt them with those things that they know that they are weak of. You know what I mean? To try to keep them in that sunken place. Okay. And so it says that Jesus resisted the devil. Okay. And then he went up to the mountain and rested. He had to rest. They never said that turning away stuff that you may want, especially when you hungry and you thirsty and you fasting for 40 days and 40 nights. They said they didn't say it would be easy. And so I think about that with Straight Drop. Straight Drop was a young man that wanted to get into the music industry. He was already out there crashing out. Of course, I know, but one of the officers that I know said that they knew Straight Drop's family, his mother. And growing up, Straight Drop wasn't like that. When he was a little boy, they said Straight Drop started getting into bad stuff around 9th. They kind of told me the story of 18 or something like that. 17, he got with a group of people and they kind of just turned him out. Okay. And so, tricked off of the streets. Okay. And so what they did was they dangled the idea of him, okay, being in the music industry. That's the reason why I say it goes back to building a foundation and instilling a foundation into your children. Because ain't nobody supposed to be able to come to your child and say, look here, I could sign you to my management company. I can make you a star. Because we noticed he started doing features and stuff with Moneybag Yo's artists. And I ain't saying Moneybag Yo involved, because y'all, his people, sis, be getting mad and be coming all on here, child. I already had to turn one into the FBI because they came on here doing terroristic threats. I ain't say that Moneybag Yo was involved. I always said he ain't passed the smell test. If I had to guess, I would say that he had some type of involvement. Kiss my ass, God damn it, because that's what I feel, okay? But it's gonna all come out. It's all coming out now, right? But we started seeing him on stage with Black Youngster, Moneybag Yo, Gotti and them, Big Juke them. They ought to be ashamed of their old ass selves, okay? They started showing him you could have all this, just like the devil did Jesus. They tempted him. And because he was too weak to resist, he didn't understand that's not how you get it. That's not how you get it, because the Bible says your gifts will make room for you. You ain't got to let nobody trick you into going to do their dirty work. If God gives you the gift, okay, he'll give you the opportunities. Your gifts will make room for you. He says the gifts come without repentance. He gave the young man a gift. He had a look. He could rap somewhat. And if God had truly gave it to him, he wouldn't have to be repenting right now for what he did to young Dolph. Everything in that Bible is true, okay? But they dangled that in his face, y'all. Just like the devil tried to tempt Jesus. And look at what happened. Jesus resisted the devil. Straight Drop didn't have a foundation on the inside of him, unfortunately, or the mind, because he was already young, to resist the devil. And he felt like by destroying somebody else's life, that is what was going to get him all the riches and fame that he wanted. The devil tricked him. The devil tricked him, right? And the devil at this time was in the form of a human being, because the devil, demonic spirits do infiltrate other people. I'm gonna tell y'all something about jealous people. Okay, I don't deal with jealous people. You better be real careful about a person that's jealous, even if that spirit is exerted, not even at you, at somebody else. That's a dangerous person. Jealousy is as deadly and as cruel as the grave. That's the word right there. Jealousy is the mother of all things evil. Usually when you start seeing a whole lot of evil stuff happen, people start doing the evil stuff to people, it starts from jealousy. You better be very careful about that. That's the reason why I don't take a lot of this stalking and all that envious stuff. People become real fixated on you. I take that very seriously, because number one, it ain't normal. Right? I don't even think it's normal for people to be real obsessed with celebrities like Beyonce and stuff. That's some type of mental illness, okay? Because you ain't even supposed to be fixated on folks like that, okay? You ain't supposed. It's not normal to me, right? But they tricked him out of his position, right? They allow, and I don't believe that Straight Drop was jealous of young Dolph. I remember, and I'm gonna get back to what I was talking about, but I'm trying to make a point. I remember looking at a old post that Straight Drop had made, and Key Glock and young Dolph had put out, I believe, Dumb and Dumbest or Dumb and Dumber or something. And Straight Drop posted, I believe it was on Instagram that I was looking at, to Teasy. He said, Teasy, that's supposed to be us, but that was some years back, right? So it wasn't even enough for Straight Drop to kill him. So what Straight Drop did was allow a bunch of older dudes, because of their jealousy. Now they're supposed to know better. They used somebody that they know that was frustrated and was hungry, okay? And they could have easily made money off of them. They could have made them a mouth starving. I look at some of them ones, you know, that they got signed. Straight Drop, even if his lyrics, if his sound wasn't as good as theirs, he had the look to draw in a crowd, right? But it wasn't even enough for him to take him out, because young Dolph had been coming home and he had been doing his turkey drives, right? And I know Straight Drop was in and out of jail or whatever. But as soon as Straight, and I'm gonna tell you, this is how I know that Straight Drop wasn't planning to do that to young Dolph all these years. Straight Drop, if I'm not mistaken, had just got out of jail in May of 2021. As soon as he got out of jail, they immediately brought him in. They wouldn't have had to start a courtship with him and start dangling stuff in his face, right? If he had this, like this zest to kill young Dolph. No, he didn't, right? He didn't have that zest to kill him. What they did was they knew he was already frustrated. He was mad at young Dolph and Key Glock. They manipulated him, right? And dangled stuff in front of his face because of their jealousy, and tricked him out of his position. They promised to help him, but they actually tricked him out of his life, because he's in there for the rest of his life. If you don't believe me, you just watch and see. He ain't getting out of that. I don't give a damn what his lawyer do. They really shot themselves in the foot, because Judge Coffee was walking on eggshells, because his damn lawyer come up in there trying to make it seem like he was biased. But I see what this lady doing, and she ain't playing with him. I don't give a damn what nobody say. She's slow walking them. Okay. But I think it's a darn shame, you guys, that, getting back to what I was talking about, okay, because we didn't even talk about the young Dolph situation. The National Guard is going to have to be brought in. I think I talk about the young Dolph situation because it seems like when that happened, you're talking about demonic spirits, okay? When that happened, it seemed like a demonic force was released into the atmosphere in Memphis, okay? And there was already the blood stain of Dr. Martin Luther King, already on Memphis, and other things that had happened in Memphis, like the slave trades in the downtown area and stuff like that with slaves. I mean, it's all of this stuff, I like to go by the houses in the downtown area where the historical houses where the slaves hid at when they was trying to run away and all of that, when they was helping slaves to escape. Memphis is full of rich history, but there's also a demonic force that is over the city. And I think what really hurts me is when you get a bunch of Black people that work to help other Black people, like the Yo Gottis, like the 3-6 Mafias, like the all of the ones that have really been able to amass a lot of wealth, right, and make money. They didn't amass the wealth by their motherfucking selves, okay? It was the people coming out, especially in Memphis, before anybody ever knew them, okay? It was them coming out supporting them in them hole in the wall clubs that helped them to amass that wealth. You still got a lot of them that have businesses. Their family has businesses and stuff, okay, in the community. Hold on for a second, y'all. Okay, that was my clients. Okay. Anyways, but it was the people that helped to make them rich. It was their cities that helped to put them on, and to release a demonic atmosphere, a demonic force, to enhance it, because it was already one, but to enhance that and not have a responsibility. Because I'm gonna tell you something, regardless to what went on between Young Dolph, and anybody in Memphis. Those are Memphians, and it was supposed to be handled differently. You ain't got no business taking out nobody, but it was supposed to be handled differently because those were two rappers that was successful. Okay, I understand where your guy came from. He came from the streets of North Memphis. Young Dolph came from the streets of South Memphis. I know both areas. That's the straight up trenches, right? And so it was not supposed to be handled like that. If nothing else, you're supposed to, out of respect, because two men can get into it every day. Use a sissy if you can't take nobody talking about you. Like I said, if you can't stand for nobody, you don't feel like nobody's supposed to talk about you. Folks talked about Jesus Christ. The rap industry or the entertainment industry, where everybody is talked about, ain't the industry for you. You need to get out the rap industry, and I'm talking about whoever feel that way, and take your ass over to a ballerina class and put on your tutu and stand on your tiptoes and bend over. Okay? I'm talking about these men who's too damn sensitive, feel like they're supposed to be destroying somebody's life. They talked about me. No woman should want a man that's sitting up crying all the time about somebody talking about them, because real men don't be studying it. Okay? Me as a woman, I know I don't. And I know we as women are sensitive. Nigga, you in the rap industry. If I had a man that was always whining, they talking about me. Wait a minute, motherfucker. You whining more than me. I whines because I'm spoiled. You gonna whine more than me? I can't be with you. Let me whine. But you whining more than me. I tell you what, the music industry ain't for you. We need to open up a tutu business or something. Because most men don't even indulge in that. I don't even care, because rap was created, battle rapping and stuff. They've been talking about each other. Who are these folks to think that they can just take somebody out because they talking about me in a rap? Black Youngster had that bad, right? And what Black Youngster did was he done went underground now. But what he did was he gave the federal agents a lust to get him when he was around here putting that energy into the atmosphere. Okay? They said, we're going to prove to him that he ain't going to, we're gonna prove to him who's the biggest and the baddest. Okay? And he underground now. Okay? But it ain't going to help nothing. I hate Black Youngster them. Let me tell you something. A month before Black Youngster, before that happened to Young Dolph, okay? And I'm gonna say, and what Black Youngster don't understand is that they pushed him out. They used him. A month before Black Youngster, that happened to Young Dolph. Black Youngster had put out a video on a song. I don't even know how I started listening to it, because I never listened to his stuff. But I like the song. It's called Anything, right? They took that video off, but somebody got it on their page. I found it, and it's called Anything. And I like the song. I like the playfulness in the video. It was colorful. It was just I didn't know what really had been going on when he says, I sent 100 shots through the sky, and he started smiling. That video was put out a few weeks before Young Dolph was assassinated. And it's weird that they took it off of his page. But because people do reaction videos, it can still be found. It's hard to find it, but you can still be found. Okay. But take him for instance. A Black Youngster come from out of the trenches. You would think that somebody Black Youngster came from an area. I grew up in South Memphis, but the area in South Memphis that Black Youngster came from is definitely the bottom, the trenches. Like, it is the bottom of South Memphis, right? Around Kansas and around McMillan and all of those areas. That's the trenches for real. And I grew up in the trenches, right? But the song is still on Spotify. The video is gone off of his page. If you see the video on his page, let me know. The song's still up. The video is down off of his page. Okay. I tell you. But you would think that he would just be thankful to God, because I know the type of living that Black youngster had, and it was hard living. It was. He absolutely. If anybody had hard living, it was him. He was one of the ones. But I think when people start allowing, when people start putting human beings where in high places where only God should be, that's when you're gonna start having trouble. When you start putting man in a high place that you should have God, you're gonna have trouble. I'm telling you, you're gonna start having trouble. He said Macmillan Street had the big chop shop on the backside of Nylon Net Warehouse. Hmm. You know, it's weird because somebody show got on here and said some rapper owns a chop shop. And then they said the rapper that owned it. But remember now, Boxtown was the places, because I used to have to ride Boxtown when I worked for MPD when we did traffic. That's where all of the stolen cars on them back streets and stuff were. Boxtown was. I don't know if it still is, because I don't go in Boxtown in Westwood. I don't go to Westwood really, anyways. I used to go to a church. I used to record for a church over there, but that's where all the of the stolen, that used to be the chop shop area too. And shout out to Westwood though. But anyways, y'all, the Tennessee National Guard, it's a must that the Tennessee National Guard comes in to Memphis. That the National Guard comes into Memphis, because that's the only way. They did it 3 years ago, and the National Guard was not in Memphis that long, because they actually sent the National Guard before when it started to get out of control. They didn't let it get as out of control as it is now. I guess they said, because crime pays. It's designed. Shout out to Westwood. He said Memphis in my blood. Westwood class of '94. Shout out to Westwood. Um, I guess because when the National Guard came in, right, it stopped a lot. It kind of calmed a whole lot of stuff down. I guess they said, well, crime pays. We're gonna make sure we don't do that again. Okay, we want crime to be as bad as it can be, so that we can make money in the criminal justice system and all of that. I mean, hey, but here's the thing: they couldn't make the money. They couldn't do that and play chess with our community if we weren't so willing to let them play chess. Nobody making these folks go out here and rob and steal and kill. Get off of the drugs and get you a job. Stop taking all these pills and stuff. Everybody wants to take a pill. I take me an X pill. If you taking X pills and stuff because you can't get your nature up, then you probably don't even need to have sex. Okay. Because if you got to take something to enhance your sexual mood, that means you ain't supposed to be having it. Because anybody naturally supposed to get a rise. When that goes away, that means you probably ain't supposed to be doing it. I'm player code. Fam, I'm jealous, Brody. You eating the catfish plate. I always wanted to go to Memphis, but it's bad. But you know what? It's bad everywhere. It is. It's bad everywhere. Who was that telling me? Oh, that I was looking at. It's bad in Chicago. It's a story. It's something. Chicago. It's bad in Chicago. I got family that lives in Missouri. It's really bad in Missouri. Missouri is the murder capital. Missouri is, I believe, St. Louis. It's just that you don't hear a lot of cities talk about, a lot of their leaders don't really talk about what goes on in their cities, because they don't want to scare, people away, or they don't want to put that out there. They don't even want to really put it out there on the news to the citizens in their city, because they know that they're going to demand some type of change. So what they try to do is they try to downplay it. Right? They try to be politically correct. But Memphis is not the murder capital. It's just that a lot of people pay attention to Memphis at this point because of what happened to Young Dolph, which is, I guess, it could be a good and a bad thing, right? The good thing is when you focus on something and you're watching it closely, you let people know. It put pressure on people to at least try and do right. They know all eyes are on it, stuff like that. And then it could be a curse too, because some of the stuff that I hear people put into the atmosphere about Memphis and the young dogs case is absolutely embarrassing. He says I work out, never had them problems, don't need no blue pen. Ooh, Lord have mercy, Jesus. Yeah, it's like that everywhere. Who is the judge lady that our horn is representing that's got to do rehab? I forget her name. If our horn is representing her, it's got to be that judge lady that I did a story on. I forget her name. What was her name, y'all? Was it Melissa or something? I forget. I did a story on her the other day. Her friend kind of dropped the dime on her campaign manager, that the one where she was going to her house and banging on the door saying she got a man or a woman in there. I don't know what kind of friendship that was, but she got our horn representing her. I didn't know that, child. Y'all make sure y'all hit the like button for me. Like, share, and subscribe. Okay, like, share, and subscribe. But yeah, the National Guard is gonna have to come in, y'all. Okay, the National Guard is gonna have to come in. Stop all of this foolishness. Hold on, y'all. Um, yeah, her name is Melissa Boyd. Okay. Yeah, well, Jim Strickland leaves in January the 1st. He's gone. So Paul Young had won, and so we'll see what Paul Young is gonna do. We know that Paul Young is supposed to. I think they said he's gonna keep the police director. He's gonna keep the police director, and we'll see. Um, we'll see what happens. You know, we'll see. Because a lot of people talk about the police director, but I understand that the police director does not run anything. But we'll see. The mayor does, but we'll see if Paul Young allows her to run it, right? We'll see if he's allowing her to run it. And Paul Young and them are good people. And if he's allowing her to run it, she don't do what she's supposed to do. Um, I'm sure that they'll part ways. I hope. I mean, but it ain't nothing gonna change, y'all. If the laws don't change, I mean, the law it's like it's a revolving door. The jail. See, a lot of people don't know their government. They'll say, "Well, Chief David let them peoples is back out of jail." I didn't have to sit up and explain, when folks was putting that into the atmosphere, that the police director ain't got a damn thing to do with nobody getting out of jail. When folks was saying that, I see people have started trying to change it now. I try to educate folks a little bit, but she don't have anything to do with the revolving door of the jail. Those are the laws that they get their lawyers, and their lawyers use the law to get them out. So what you have to start doing is putting pressure on the lawmakers, which would be your state senator and Congress and all of that. These are the lawmakers, right? That change these laws and stuff and make them less stringent and make the jails and stuff a revolving door for these criminals. You start getting on top of their heads and letting them know you ain't gonna be reelected. And I bet you they change those laws because you're gonna put somebody in that's gonna make sure the jail isn't a revolving door. The only thing the police do is go and arrest them and take them to the jail and drop them off in a damn salad port. John says National Guard come down if you don't want to die and you black, you better leave. Well, they killing each other, Hey, listen, they didn't. When they came 3 years ago, they weren't killing different people because folks got out of Dodge. They got out the way. But what has happened now is that they've allowed the criminals to act such fools that they feel like that they can go up against the National Guard. Yeah, they feel like that they can go up against the National Guard, which is just absolutely crazy. So, y'all hit the like button for me. Make sure you all are hitting the like button. Like, share, and subscribe for me. Hold on for a second, you guys. I'm looking at something. I said I wish I could get a passport. I tell you. He said, what can the National Guard do? I don't know. Let me see how many likes we got, you guys. Y'all hit the like button for me. Hit the like button. Y'all keep running the likes up for me. You're a painter at the shipyard? Okay. You said the National Guard hate black broke people? So, John, what do you suggest be done about all of these all of this black on black crime? What do you suggest be done about it? Hey, your choice, Toin. I want to know what do you suggest be done about all of these killings? Right, it's going to have to take the National Guard. They really lost of they think they wanted with trained killers. Because a lot of people say they don't want the National Guard. I mean, but National Guard going to impose a curfew and all, right? And they're going to make sure that they abide by those curfews. Hey, Jennifer, they're going to make sure that they abide by those curfews. So I think that's what it's going to take myself. I do. I don't see any problems with it. Um, I don't see any problems with it at all. The National Guard could be a start of a bad situation for everyone, even the law abiding citizens. Remember locking down the bigger cities because of out of control crime to impose martial law. Most of those people who don't want the National Guard smoke a lot and crime excites them. They need help down there, send them on. Just like when the feds in town, crime slows down, a strong police presence deters. Well, we just said that the folks been shooting at the police. They've been shooting at the police. Mm-hmm. Y'all hit the like button. He said Memphis is crumbling. All right, you guys. I had only planned to be on here for an hour or so. I might get back on tonight because I got to get out in the streets. It's already time be going by so fast. But I enjoyed being on here with you guys. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. I gotta finish doing my last little bit of shopping, and my mom is going with me this time um to finish. And another thing, I had to acquire some sponsors because when I had talked to the seniors home, I got one in South Memphis, sponsored one in South Memphis. She was like, "Well, they want some jogging suits." I said, "Ma'am, I don't mean no harm, but I can't get no jogging suits for 100. What she said, 136 seniors." I said, "I can't do it." But what I do want to do is, like, I wanted to, what I had planned to do, like what I've been doing, is get them underwear. She said, "Well, they like deodorant," and the ladies like, um, bonnets and stuff for their head. I said, "Okay." I said gloves and stuff like that, but I can't get them I can't get no jogging suits for 100 and something people. 100 and let's see, it's 111, 150 15 men, 117 women. I said, I can't do that. So I guess I did get I was getting ready to say who one of the sponsors were, one that I do video work for. But shit, even with what they gave, I still can't get them all, no 100 and some people, no jogging suits. So I told her, if I choose this seniors home the next time, maybe, because you have to start a damn year to be able to get all of them jogging suits. They gonna say, because they be having the jogging suits in Walmart. I said, no, ma'am, I can't go get 100. She said the tops and the bottoms. I can't do that. But anyways, I guess given what they asked for. Yeah. Anyways, you guys, I want you guys to please like, share, and subscribe. If you would like to support the channel, you could definitely support the channel via Cash App. I love you guys. I may get back on tonight. Okay. I'll talk to you later.